Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, first and second formers at grammar school unable to return to school due to delays in sanitizing the classes. A plan for government and opposition to work together on post-Maria recovery efforts. And greater transparency and accountability for the public support program known as the Red Clinic. The details coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001-275-5003 today.
First up in the news, 2 days after the designated day by the Ministry of Education for grammar school students to return to school, there were still displaced people at the building, still not evacuated. Idona John Baptist reports.
Displaced people whose homes were destroyed by Hurricane Maria have been seeking refuge at schools designated as shelters. That has caused the delay in the resumption of classes at some schools, and in some cases, schools have been operating on a shift system to accommodate students. In the case of DGS, students of Forms 1 and 2 have been out of school while the classes were being used as shelters. A shift system was being adopted for Forms 3 to 5 students of Goodwill Secondary and Grammar School at the new wing of the DGS. Government responded by funding temporary housing opposite the DGS site to relocate the hurricane victims, a project that the Ministry of Housing expected to be completed last weekend. However, the relocation only started on Wednesday night, and even as a Ministry of Education's press release stated that DGS was ready to accommodate its full student population on Tuesday at 8 a.m., that was not so. On Thursday, the classes which housed those seeking shelter were still being sanitized as the displaced people were still moving out. The housing units feature 4 buildings, one of which is 90% complete. It's still not clear when classes will resume for Forms 1 and 2 students of DGS. An official from the Ministry of Housing told Channel 5 News the housing units would also accommodate people seeking refuge at the Roseau Primary. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In related news, residents of Roseau and environs displaced by Hurricane Maria continue to adjust to life outside of their homes, but they say they would still require assistance to repair their houses.
It appears to be a breath of fresh air for people who have been living in a classroom for the past 4 months. They are trying to make their quarters a homey atmosphere coming out of the September 2017 disaster. The local government department has been assisting with the relocation from the Dominica Grammar School. Patrick St. Germain, who lived at Pottersville, has been trying to cope with displacement while fending for his 2 sons.
When I watch the place, it's really break me down. So I said, I wonder where I'm going to put my family. So I said, I'm going to walk and see where I get. But apparently I come up to the grammar school. I get the grammar school. I say, well, I'm going to have like a rescue there for the time until probably when something comes up.
How old are your sons?
10 and 11.
Okay, and you're the one caring for them?
I'm the one caring for them because if not me, nobody else again.
Okay.
So the mother they're working is now and then. If she gets a little thing to do, she will do it. I lose everything. So it's very, very, very hurts me. But at the same time, thanks God I have life I live in.
A single mother who is taking care of her toddler granddaughter while her daughter is at work is another recipient of an apartment.
Well, I leave the school because the children wanted their school, so I had to leave. And so because when they come, that was Monday, I was embarrassed because to see a whole set of children was there and I have to be peeping in a window to see. So that's why. But I'm happy for what I get and so for the time. I used to live at Hillsborough Street, Luchalo, on the other side of the road. And the house got mashed up, but not my own. I was renting. And the house was one person house, the lot was Mr. Magro lot. So everybody had given me notice long time, so I couldn't go back and build there. And all my things gone, everything, stove, everything. When the Maria come, I was by somebody, my Willie was sheltering, and from there, from after everything finished, I come to grammar school.
You mentioned to me you still have certain concerns being by the river.
Yes, because remember it's still by the river, yeah? So we still have to watch out for it, because when there's no hurricane come again, so we have to look for it.
What are your expectations? I know this is a temporary situation. Are you hoping to get some assistance from government to relocate you to a permanent place?
Well, we talk to them, so I don't know if they will assist us and whatever, so I hope so.
Philip Riviere of Kingshill was just moving into his space from the Dominica Grammar School when we met him on Thursday.
There was a shelter, I understood, and I needed one, I found it. This is never too far. You need it, you get it, you look for it.
What happened to your house at Kingshill?
Well, it's smashed up. Smashed up entirely. Roof gone, house smashed up.
That was your own home?
My own property, yes, of course. The wooden structure has smashed up entirely, but I have some concrete structure with just the roof gone, so they promised to cover it back for me. That little part, I'll satisfy. But at the same time, they call it a temporary.
What was the situation like at the Dominica Grammar School, having to spend Christmas there?
Yeah, well, we just have to be satisfied. Just have to take it easy. You didn't really want that, but I mean, with the whole world.
In more top stories now, the Prime Minister and the opposition leader could finally come together to collaborate on Dominica's post-Maria rebuilding and recovery efforts. The Prime Minister promised on Wednesday to write to the leader of the opposition with regard to a cabinet decision to create a national bipartisan post-Maria consultative body. That body will consist of 5 members of parliament, 2 from the opposition and 3 from the ruling party.
The leaders of both sides will submit names to the parliament, and by a motion, those names will be approved. They'll be clear and distinct in terms of references for this body. In respect to the overall reconstruction and rebuilding of Dominica.
And the public support program, what has become known as the Red Clinic, is about to get overhauled. But the Prime Minister says the organization under a new name will continue to maintain the mandate of the public support program. Cabinet has taken a decision to create what is called an autonomous rapid response social recovery agency.
The rationale behind this is that in the aftermath of a massive storm like this, you will have social dislocation in a country, irrespective of how small or large the country is, but particularly in small countries. And therefore, our response as a government and as a people in our country to the needs, the urgent needs of our citizens, must be rapid. It cannot get bogged down in bureaucracy. People should not come to us today and we tell them come next week, and when they come next week, it's not available, and they tell us next week, and something that the person needed today, the 17th of February, they receive on the 1st of March. And it's of no consequence to the person, because the person needed it on the 17th. And sometimes this is life or death situations. Somebody's house, that roof that's leaking, cannot wait forever, because the water is falling directly on the person's bed. The person has small children. So to demystify the public support program, this will be an autonomous body. It will be a creature of the parliament. So not only an executive decision, it will become a creature of the parliament. It will have its board, it will have its management structure. It will receive its funds from the parliament, voted by the parliament. It will be audited by the director of audit. It will be answerable to the Parliament. So it will follow all of the financial protocols like any other statutory entity in the country.
The agency is due to come into effect on the 15th of March.
I did not watch to see whether the 15th was Sunday or Monday, but I wanted on the 15th of March, which means that we have to go to Parliament before then to cause it to happen. People shouldn't be coming to us back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on simple matters. And some of these matters are $300 or $500 to buy stuff, medication. Somebody who is diabetic cannot wait if the insulin is finishing this afternoon. So these are the things that frustrates me in the public service, when things take too long to happen, and when we can make it happen much quicker than it should be happening. So we'll create this autonomous body, and the board and the executive director and the staff will make those determinations and be more rapid and so forth.
In more news now, media workers have been reminded to be agents of change for the betterment of society. Andrea Louis reports.
A representative from the Division of Gender Relations in St. Lucia sounded the call to Caribbean journalists who attended a 2-day workshop organized by the Caribbean Association for Feminist Research Action, CAFRA. Alana Sami cautioned the participants that in order to bring about greater awareness of gender sensitivity and gender equality to the wider public, media workers must be fair and unbiased in their reporting.
The process of reporting requires the use of gender-sensitive lens and gender-sensitive language for a balanced representation of women and men as a source of information, opinion, and expertise in the news. To date, there have been numerous reported cases of sexual harassment in the workplace, sexual assault and child abuse by men and women of different ages, as well as campaigns which advocate for a greater voice and platform where victims of such acts could share their experiences and encourage others to be bold by adopting a similar stance. This brings to light areas of concern that we need to address as the discussion goes on. This training comes at a time when the issue of gender-sensitive reporting and the use of gender-sensitive language through the images presented to the audience or the reader can be presented in a more gendered, balanced account or story, which will positively impact people's consciousness over time.
Sami also reiterated the significant influence that media practitioners have in shaping the mindset of the people.
The issue of gender inclusivity and gender-sensitive reporting is one of much concern as it seeks to create a level of sensitivity, empathy, respect, understanding, and balance amongst persons who are directly involved or impacted by social issues, especially those that are being reported from the views of journalists. A fundamental aspect of this process is that news items or articles should reflect the world as seen through the eyes of men and women. Therefore, journalists can take on the role as change agents where they can help readdress and change attitudes of our society, whereby women are portrayed as they really are rather than reinforming gender stereotypes.
The 2-day workshop on the integration of gender lens and human rights focus in journalistic practice wrapped up in St. Lucia on Wednesday. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
And a national discussion on rebuilding Dominica post-Maria has been scheduled for the 19th of February. The National Rebuild and Economic Partnership consultation is based on a decision taken by Cabinet in December last year.
And this would include all stakeholders, the NGOs, the youth groups, sporting organizations, Dominica Association of local government authorities, leaders of political parties, the churches, the farmers groups, the private sectors, the wide cross-section of society, where we'll all come together and we will discuss and share ideas and experiences and suggestions on how best to go about approaching the rebuilding of Dominica. Obviously, there will be a presentation by the government and there'll be submissions made by the various stakeholders.
The national consultation, to be attended by all ministers of government, will be chaired by the Prime Minister. In sports now, there were wins for the Dominica Grammar School and Isaiah Thomas Secondary in the Sports Division Secondary Schools Netball Championships on Wednesday. Kenny Williams has more.
Playing at home seemed to have done the trick for ITSS when they finished 6 points ahead of the visiting Wesley High School in the under-16s. That game ended 22-16 in favor of ITSS with a timely 15 out of 22 attempts from Aikisha Peter and Jennifer Joseph adding a well-needed 6 from 9 tries. However, the girls from Wesley High would not go down without a fight and showed some fighting spirit with 12 of 21 attempts from Cassie Hill and Letitia Charles, 4 from 9. After a competitive game against ITSS, the girls from Wesley High came with the hope of redeeming themselves when they came up against Dominica Grammar School in the under-20s. However, that momentary spike in confidence was squashed with a 23-6 defeat. With the steady hand of Trinice Hamilton, DGS scored 16 out of 21 tries, which accounted for about 70% of her team's total score. WHS did not seem to have much left in the tank, since Cassie Hill got the only 6 for her team. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 News.
And he is a force to be reckoned with in any format of cricket, and his hard work continues to bear fruit. His name is Virat Kohli.
Currently ranked number 1 in one-day internationals, 3rd in tests and T20 internationals, Virat Kohli was recently named Cricketer and Captain of the Year at the ICC Awards. He also regained the trophy he had won for the first time in 2012 as he was named ODI Player of the Year as well. In the qualification period from September 21, 2016 to the end of 2017, the 29-year-old scored 2,203 test runs at an average of 77.80, including 6 double centuries, 1,818 ODI runs at 82.63, including 7 centuries, and 299 T20 international runs at a strike rate of 153. With him at the helm, India is ranked among the top 3 teams in the world. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 News.
And although the sports division has continued school programs post-Hurricane Maria, table tennis games might not be possible this year. Here's Kenny Williams once more.
This according to sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford, who is concerned about the development of the sport here. He says while this might delay any progress in the sport, the Ministry of Sports is in search of an alternative venue for hosting games.
One of the programs, though, that may be impacted or we may have to cancel because of, well, indirectly the effects of Maria is the table tennis. Since the facility that is normally used for the staging of the table tennis is the Goodwill Primary School Auditorium. That section of the school, since the hurricane, is presently used as classrooms, and they have subdivided the area there into classrooms. So this indirectly may impact our table tennis program, and we may not be in a position to have the table tennis done. We are presently in discussion. I have a discussion with our minister to sort of assist us in finding an alternative site. That is a site which is being used by the state for other activities. So hopefully if there might be some positive outcomes from this discussion, and we should be in a position to have the facility. But in the event that we cannot, then we may have to cancel the table tennis for this academic year.
Despite this setback, Shillingford highlighted the progress of other school competitions and says more are on the cards for 2018. Additionally, some of the sporting programs had to be adjusted for this academic year.
We had to take a decision, a financial decision, in terms of cutting back on a few of the programs. So we have removed a few of the divisions, that is the lower divisions, from the various competitions. But we were in a position to, have most of the activities held. As we said, the netball is ongoing, and also the football, that's the secondary school's football. And we have upcoming the under-20 cricket. Yes, well, we have not confirmed the sponsorship. We are hoping that Massey will be on board with us again this year. We have the under-20 cricket, which is coming up. That should be commence on the 26th of January. We also have the secondary schools volleyball, which would start on the 31st of January. And we have the secondary schools basketball, which we expect to start on the 7th of February.
The sports division had to go back to the drawing board after Hurricane Maria struck Dominica in order to keep school sports going. However, despite those adjustments, the Ministry of Sports is optimistic about the advancement of sports post-Hurricane Maria. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 News.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
To end the news, the headlines again. First and second formers at grammar school unable to return to school due to delays in sanitizing the classes. A plan for government and opposition to work together on post-Maria recovery efforts. And greater transparency and accountability for the public support program known as the Red Clinic. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel and tvnentertainment.net. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Julian Morris, thanking you for watching and inviting you to join us tomorrow.